And thanks for staying with us here on the Joy News channel. The minority in Parliament says that the police is deliberately obstructing them from going ahead with their planned protest tomorrow. Now, they're accusing the central bank governors of mismanagement, leading to the losses which incurred and negatively impacted on the livelihoods of Ghanaians, and are therefore using the protest to mount pressure for their resignation, despite an inconclusive meeting between the minority and the Ghana Police Service, which aimed at reaching a truce on the routes to use for that protest. The minority has indicated its readiness to proceed with the protest. There's more in this report.
The meeting between the minority and the Ghana Police Service ended inconclusively, as the routes for tomorrow's demonstration was not agreed. However, the Deputy Minority Leader, Emmanuel Amakofibwa, told the media that despite these challenges, they will go ahead with the demonstration.
The Police Service of Ghana, the Regional Police Command, could not tell us where the limits are. We have even made compromise and suggested, okay, since the Bank of Ghana is the security zone and you couldn't even tell us the limits today, it's very clear to us that the police are just doing everything to trample on our rights as Ghanaians, as representatives of the people of Ghana, and especially our right guaranteed in this constitution to protest. So it is clear for us that we've done everything we can to work with the police. This police will not work with us. They are not ready to even listen to us. They are not ready to compromise with us. But we are clear in our minds that we have the right to protest, and we will do so.
MP for Boku Central, Mahama Yarga, says there's no law that gives the police that power to prevent them from going on demonstration.
We have a right to demonstrate, and we will demonstrate. We have an issue with the central bank, and we'll go to the central bank. So let's deal with their first issue, which is the route. So we went back to the route that they initially proposed, which is that we should start from Obra Spot, go through Adaka, and then their initial termination point was Independence Square. So we said, okay, we are accepting your route. We will start from Obra Spot, we'll go through Adabraka, pass through Ridge Roundabout, and then go and pass through the National Theatre, and then hit the Atamils Highway, and then head towards the Bank of Ghana building. And they agreed. They agreed to the route. Okay? Then we said the second. So once there's agreement on the route, let's resolve the third issue, which is the termination point. Yeah. You are saying we should turn and go and terminate at Independence Square. We say no. We don't have an issue with the independence of Ghana. Our issue is with the Bank of Ghana.
The demonstration comes off tomorrow, but with different routes. The minority is expected to pour on the streets of Accra to register their revulsion against governors of the Bank of Ghana for posting losses in the 2022 audited report. Reporting for Joy News, Samuel Mbura, Greater Accra Police Command, Accra.
Well, fortunately, Samuel Mbura is joining us back in the studio. As we understand, there's an update on the story where minorities beginning to change their mind on this protest. Sami, what's the update from the minority, and what are they indicating at this point?
So the update is that the protest has been postponed to 3rd October, following an agreement between the Ghana Police Service and then the minority. So they've now reached a truce on the route that they will take for this protest, but as to the exact route that they will take, it has to
we understand this was part of the reason for which the issues ended up in court. Why is there a difficulty at just arriving on one simple route to use, and why is the minority resisting the attempts, what they describe as the attempt by the police to prevent the walk from taking place?
So the Ghana Police Service has cited security reasons as to why they cannot allow them to use the route they were proposing in front of Parliament, through to Makola and some of the prime areas in Accra. They'll end at the Bank of Ghana, where they'll present the petition. They were expecting that the governors themselves will come and take the petition. If not, they wouldn't leave the premises.
Yeah.
So because of the security concerns from the Ghana Police Service, that's why they had to go to court to restrain them. However, there was a misnomer with the application that they placed before Parliament, the court. The court directed that instead of titling it the Republic versus the minority, it should have been the Ghana Police Service versus the minority. So they were given a 1 week time period to go and then change that misnomer and come back. But this meeting today that was held earlier was to reach a truce on the route that they will go with for their protest tomorrow. But it ended inconclusive. But after we had left, there was another meeting with the police, and then they arrived at the new routes that they'll be embarking on the 3rd of October.
So what's the agreement now? Do we have a clear sense of where the protests, the routes they'll be using, and whether or not they are reverting to what the police had originally proposed?
At the moment, we don't have the exact route for this protest, but what we are getting is that they have agreed on the route. I know subsequently they'll definitely...
So what would be the implication of this? That the protests will still happen tomorrow?
No, the protests wouldn't come tomorrow. They have to... That's why I said they have reached the truth.
Yeah.
So by the 3rd of October, they might have removed all the strings before they can go ahead with the protest. But initially, they were confident that it will take off tomorrow. However, there are changes, and it will come off on the 3rd of October.
And you've been engaging some of the leading members of... this is supposed to be an alliance, not just from the minority side,
Exactly.
but other groups are also interested in this whole protest. What sense do you get from them as to, this insistence on trying as much as possible to go to the BOG when indeed they have other means of registering their concerns?
Yeah, so several groups are part of it. It's not just the minority, the Arise Ghana and other civil society organizations. I've also been told that market women drivers will be joining this particular demonstration or protest against the governance of Bank of Ghana. Their claim is that they have posted losses as witnessed in the 2022 audited reports, and these losses have affected negatively on the livelihood of Ghanaians. The reason they have to hit the street and then vent their revulsion against the governance of Bank of Ghana for mismanaging the economy, allegedly. They are also accusing them of allegedly printing some money that have contributed to the current economic mess in the country. A reason they are still insisting that the whole world must know that this is what the Bank of Ghana governments have done to the economy. So we have to expose them. They have other alternatives, such as going to Parliament, calling them to come, but they have been given the sufficient information about it, but they still think that let's pause the street and register our anger.
And you've been speaking to the likes of Bernard Mona. Are they not certain or convinced or having that confidence that at least by October 3, things would have changed? The economy would be in a much more better position by then.
They are not getting any indication of that, because they think that, the evidence are there to show. Because if you have seen or you look at the performance of the economy and what the audited report is saying, they think that is a reasonable grounds to protest against their management. They think that it is a clear mismanagement of the economy. There is any positive signal that there's going to be any positive change and all that. So that is why they are still resolute to go on this particular demonstration against the governors of the Bank of Ghana, not just the governor, but the board members as well. So their main target is for them to resign. They think that resigning will be the ultimate goal in solving the economic challenges that we have in the country. But the last time I engaged the vice chairman for the Parliamentary Committee on Finance, Mr. Patrick Boama, he was of the view that the minority could have used different avenues to table their concerns, even though they have already been given sufficient information as to why the Bank of Ghana performed that way. But they think that going to the extreme of publicly demonstrating against the Bank of Ghana will send a signal of lack of confidence in the economy at the time that Ghana is still in negotiation with IMF on some of the debt negotiation and all that. So the general plea from the majority in government is that at least the minority can look at a different avenue to table their concerns, either than hitting the streets to publicly vent their anger.
Finally, any word from the Ghana Police Service?
Well, the Ghana Police Service, per their instruction now, they don't speak to the media. They don't. It is later that they may be issuing a statement that will be published on their official Facebook page or any of their outlets that will get to know what happened. But for now, the police wouldn't talk to us. But the indication I've gotten from the protesters is that they don't have trust in the Ghana Police Service. They think that they have been been used to frustrate their purposes. Their attempts to demonstrate.
Yeah. Okay, Sami Mbura put the latest on this protest, and we'll definitely bring you updates. But Frank.